the derivative of the function Cortex using the first principle. So most important 4 marks problem. So first we take that given function is equal to Cortex. Let f of x is equal to Cortex, which implies the value of f of x plus h is equals to f of x plus h is equal to cot of x plus h. Now taking the first principle formula. Now this is the first principle formula. F dash of x is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x by h. So this is the formula of the first principle. Now substituting the values. So this is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h is equal to cot of x plus h. Cot of x plus h minus f of x is equal to cot x whole by h. And this is equals to limit h tends to 0 cot x plus h. Cot x plus h is nothing but cos of x plus h by sine of x plus h. Cot x is equal to cos x by sine x. So cot of x plus h is equal to cos x plus h by sine x plus h by cot x is equal to cos x by sine x whole by h. And this is equal to limit h tends to 0. Now taking LCM here. So what is the first value? Cos of x plus h into sin x. Cos of x plus h into sin x minus sin of x plus h into cos x whole by. Now what is the denominator value here? The denominator is sin of x plus h into sin x into h. Just taking all the three values in a single denominator. Sin of x plus h into sin x into h. And this is equals to limit h tends to 0. Now this is in the form of sin a cos b minus cos a sin b. Sin a cos b minus cos a sin b. Now what is the formula for sin a cos b minus cos a sin b? Sin of a minus b. That is sin of a minus b. What is a value? X minus b. What is b value? X plus h. So clearly this is in the form of sin a cos b minus cos a sin b, and that is nothing but sin of a minus b whole by sin of x plus h into sin x into h. And this is equals to limit h tends to 0 sin of x minus h minus of these two values, sin of x minus h by sin x plus h into sin x into h. And this is equals to limit h tends to 0 sin of minus h sin x plus h into sin x into h. And this is equals to, now separating the denominator like that, limit h tends to 0. So we take the value first, sin of minus h by h. And what is the remaining value? Sin of x plus h into sin x. And this is equals to limit h tends to 0. Sin of minus h by h is equal to minus sin h by h. Sin of minus theta is equal to minus sin theta. And separating the limit value, limit h tends to 0, 1 by sin x plus h into sin x. And this is equals to, already we know that one formula, limit x tends to 0 sin x by x is equal to 1. That is limit h tends to 0 sin h by h is equal to minus 1. The formula is limit x tends to 0 sin x by x is equal to 1. This is the formula. So by applying that formula here, so this is limit h tends to 0 sin h by h is equals to 1. Now substituting h is equal to 0 here, minus 1 into, now replacing h is equal to 0 here, then what we get? Sin x plus 0, that is sin x. X plus 0, that is sin x into sin x. So this is equals to minus 1 by sin x into sin x is equals to sin square x. And 1 by sin square x is equal to cosecant square x. Therefore, the value f dash of x is equals to, the answer is minus cosecant square x. So which is the direct formula? What is the given question here? Cortex derivative. What is the formula for cortex? Cortex whole dash is equals to dy dx of cortex is equals to minus cosecant square x. Direct formula. So we get the same answer, minus cosecant square x. That's all. This is answer. Next problem. Find the derivative of x sin x using first principle. So first we take that given function is equals to x sin x, that is f of x is equal to x sin x, which implies what we want. So first we take the value f of x plus h. So f of x plus h is equal to f of x plus h means we take x plus h in place of x in the given function. That is here we take x plus h, that is x plus h into sine of x plus h, and this is equals to, just multiply the values here, x into sine function plus h into sine function, that is x into sine of x plus h plus h into sine of x plus h. So x into sine of x plus h plus h into sine of x plus h. So this is the given function. So this is the value of f of x plus h. Now substituting these values in the first principle formula. So what is the first principle formula? F dash of x is equals to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x by h. Limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x by h. Now substituting the values here. So this is equals to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h. What is f of x plus h value? This total value, that is x into sine x plus h plus h into sine x plus h minus f of x. What is f of x function? X sin x whole by h, and this is equals to limit h tends to 0. So first I take first and last values, that is x sin x plus h minus x sin x plus, next I take the second value which is h into sine x plus h whole by h. Now separating the denominator to the first two terms 1 and to the third term 1. So this is equals to limit h tends to 0. So first I take x common from the first two terms of the numerator, that is x into sine of x plus h minus sine x. Just I take x common from the first and second terms of the numerator whole by h. Now separating the denominator plus this value h into sine of x plus h into sine of x plus h by h. Limit h tends to 0 x into sine of x plus h minus sine x by h plus limit h tends to 0 sine of x plus h, and this is equals to limit h tends to 0 x into limit h tends to 0 x into, this is in the form of sin c minus sin d, where c is equal to x plus h and d is equal to x. Now what is the formula for sin c minus sin d? 2 cos c plus d by 2. What are c comma d? X plus h and x. 2 cos c plus d by 2 into sin c minus d by 2, that is x plus h minus x by 2 whole by h. Now this is the formula of the sin c minus sin d. Sin c minus sin d is equals to 2 cos c plus d by 2 sin c minus d by 2 plus, now substituting h is equal to 0 directly in the second function, then what we get? Sin x plus 0, and this is equals to limit h tends to 0 x into 2 cos, so this is equals to x plus x, 2x plus h by 2 into, here x and x gets cancelled, sin h by 2 whole by h plus sin x plus 0 is equals to sin x, and this is equals to limit h tends to 0 x into 2 into cos 2x plus h by 2 into, just I take the remaining value as sin h by 2 whole by h. Just I take the denominator to the last term only, like that, plus sin x. Now separating the limits to the first value and last value here equals to limit h tends to 0 2x into cos 2x plus h by 2 into limit h tends to 0 sin h by 2. H by 2 means this is 1 by 2 into h whole by h plus sin x. Now what is the formula to this step? This is in the form of, now this is in the form of limit h tends to 0 sine AH by H. Now what is the formula for this one? This total value is equals to A. Limit H tends to 0. Sine AH by H is equals to A. Now applying the same formula here, then what we get? Sine AH by H. What is A value here? 1 by 2. So this is equals to 2x. Now substituting H is equal to 0 here. Then cos 2x plus 0 by 2. That is 2x by 2 into sine AH by H is equals to A answer. So this answer is equals to 1 by 2 plus sin x. So here 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So this is equals to 2x cos x into 1 by 2 plus sin x. Again here 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So answer is equals to x cos x plus sin x. So this is the derivative value. Therefore f dash of x is equals to x cos x plus sin x. Now this is the answer which is obtained by applying the first principle. Now just finding the derivative by applying the formula. So here what is the given quotient? X sin x. Now we want the derivative of x sin x. Now clearly product of the two x functions. So here in the given term we have two x terms. That is, so to find the derivative here we use the UV rule. That is, what is UV rule? X into sin x whole dash plus sin x into x whole dash. UV, U into V dash plus V into U dash. This is U, this is V. U into V dash plus V into U dash. That is x into sin x whole dash plus sin x into x dash. And this is equals to x into, what is sin x derivative? Cos x plus sin x into, what is x derivative? 1. So the answer is x cos x plus sin x. Now this is the verification. Therefore both answers are same. That's all. This is the answer.